Vlogging has become a staple genre on YouTube for the longest time, but what happens when one of these vloggers films the months leading up to their unexplained disappearance? Louise Paxton was a 23-year-old girl who moved to London back in 2007 to get a fresh start in a new city after breaking up with her boyfriend. She started her channel, Louise Paxton, to give updates and keep in contact with her old friends back in Norwich.
Hello!
Hi! Okay, I'm at the train station. And I'm saying goodbye to Norwich.
Yeah.
And with my best friend.
The first few videos seemed pretty normal and uneventful. Louise showed her friends around her apartment and her new life in London. She talked about her ex and how she was feeling about the move overall. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary at all. But it was soon after that the videos started to take an eerie turn. Out of the blue one day, Louise uploaded a video named Stalking Video 1.
Hi, my name's Louise Paxton and I'm making this videotape to record, document an event which first started 2 nights ago. It's Thursday night tonight, and on Tuesday night an intruder came to my house. I was woken up by the sound of a rustling. It was like a scraping noise outside of my bedroom window. There was a man stood. I'll show you. There was a man stood at my doorway here, leaning against the pane of the window.
A few weeks into Louise's stay at her new place, she encountered a stalker, or what she believed was a stalker. A figure kept appearing in her window at night and Louise was terrified. The figure did not speak or respond to Louise, but just sat there watching her. Louise eventually caught the figure on tape in her second video, Stalking Video 2. Louise claims she contacted the police about the stalker, but the police couldn't do anything for her because she didn't have any proof of who he was or that he was even posing a threat to her at all. Louise couldn't do anything about the stalker, but the videos only got weirder. She started noticing odd things happening around her house. One day, she found this coin.
Hey, I just wanted to show you what I found this morning. It's a coin. How cool is that? I found it on the floor at the foot of my bed. I don't think you can see it here, it's too dark. I'm going to show you in the light. Okay, so I found it down here, and I think it must have belonged to the people who lived here before. It's a 1 penny.
The coin was extremely old and appeared in front of her bed out of nowhere. Louise didn't think anything of it. She thought it was just from the previous owners, but people in the comments started to suspect she was dealing with something paranormal rather than human. This idea of a haunting was only affirmed more when Louise uploaded another video talking about cold spots in her bedroom.
So it shows over here it's like 9 degrees. And then you go over to the other side of my bed, and it disappears because it's going up.
One side of her bed was 48 degrees Fahrenheit, while the other side just feet away was 70 degrees. Many commenters were now convinced that Louise was the victim of paranormal activity, but Louise still thought it was just a stalker. She began hearing noises in the night and decided she was going to stay up to try and catch the stalker so she could take the footage to the police.
Okay, so it's Tuesday night. Last night I was woken up again by the noises outside of my bedroom window, and I came through and there was nothing outside. So I set the video up in the window to record anything in case that guy came back again. I watched it this morning and there was nothing on the tape.
With no luck staying up, Louise went back to making normal videos for her friends for a few weeks without any strange events. But this was just the calm before the storm. What came next was a series of even stranger events that got more and more intense. Louise woke up one morning to find a muddy handprint on her window.
Made of mud. Thumb and against the fingers.
The next upload is when things truly began to get intense. While walking through her house, she found a random pebble on her bed and then the lights cut out. She freaked out and she ends the video hiding away in her room. 3 days later, she uploads another video of her boarded up in her room, afraid to leave her house. She made it sound like she's been in the room for days. 2 days after this, it appears her house was broken into.
The bed was made. The wallet.
Her room was torn apart, there was mud everywhere, and she found an old wallet among the wreckage. She claims she saw something move the bed and that's why she ran away, but the footage didn't really pick that up. The contents of the wallet was a driver's license from someone named Margaret Watts, an old checkbook with the name J. Watts that went back years and years, a bunch of random bits of paper and money, and a super old family photo. Louise, intrigued by this, decided to look up the phone number for Margaret Watts, and in the next video, she gave them a call.
Yeah, I found Margaret Watts's wallet.
What? What do you mean you found? Is this some kind of joke?
No, no, I found her wallet with her driver's license and cards and bank book, and basically I rang directory inquiries and I got your number from them, so I'm just letting...
No, you've got it wrong. It must be somebody else.
I have her driver's license, and there's a photograph in the wallet of a family and some children in the photo, and there's a lady with blonde hair in that, and the bank book is made out to two people. There's a J. Watts. Are you J?
Yes, I am. Look, I don't know who you are or what you want.
I found
My wife disappeared 10 years ago. I really... I don't know what to say.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Margaret Watts, the owner of the wallet, has been missing for 10 years. People started to suspect that the ghost haunting Louise was actually the ghost of Margaret Watts trying to get Louise to solve her murder. The next incident involved Louise's keys going missing.
Came through here and the latch on the door was unlocked. This is unlocked. And the keys have gone from my door. I always lock this door every night before I go to bed, and it's unlocked. So this is where I found the key down here. It's my house key, and here's the key. It's covered in mud. You see that? And at the top there as well, it's covered. I don't know why my key has got mud on it. It feels really weird. scared. Really cold.
This is the point where I think Louise changed from thinking she was being stalked into thinking she was being haunted. Because in the next video, which is one of the creepiest ones yet, she wrote in the description, "I think I let it in." Does that make any sense? That night, when I opened the door, I don't think I scared it off. I think I let it into the house. Is that possible?
Oh my god. That door was closed.
After this horrifying night, one of Louise's friends, Lizzie, saw what was happening with her and decided to visit to get to the bottom of what was going on and to comfort her. They were seen getting drunk and having a good time, but just 3 days later, the last video ever uploaded on Louise's channel was posted.
The noise, Lizzie. Lizzie, did you hear it?
Yeah, I did. Alright, that's kids. I'm gonna get out there. Hey, I can't open the door, Louise. How'd you get the door open?
The keys in the door.
No.
The keys are in the door.
No, they're not in the door. There's no keys in the door.
What?
Where are the keys?
They're in the door.
Yeah, alright, don't worry. There's just no key. You must have put them somewhere else.
They're always in the door.
Oh, come on, I'm gonna sort this out for you, alright? How else do I get out of here? How about the French window?
It's gone. The key's gone.
The key's gone? Oh, shit, light's blown.
Light in the hallway. I put the light in the hallway.
Where is it? Where's the trick switch? Where's the trick switch? Calm down, Max. It's alright. Where is it?
Oh, God.
Where's the trick switch? We've got to get out of here. We've got to get out of here. Okay, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Don't panic.
Oh, God.
Shh. Hey, what?
Something just touched me.
Oh my God. Okay, don't panic. So yeah, we've got to get out of here. We've got to get out. We've got to get.
They hear a noise again and panic ensues. After a loud screech, the video ends with Louise locked in a separate room, and the final seconds of the film shows what appears to be Louise floating over to some kind of monster. This is the last thing ever heard from Louise. Lizzie took the footage to the police and uploaded these clips to the YouTube channel twice. She took it down once because she didn't know if it was right to show, but decided it was best to upload it to get the word out and try and find Louise. A website was set up to try and locate Louise and was updated occasionally, but she was never heard of again. For years, people debated if these videos were fake or not. The comments were filled with people praying that Louise would be found and everything would be okay, or other people were trying to help her get the paranormal being to leave her alone. But this was the end of the story of Louise Paxton. Until years later, during an interview for a movie called The Torment, the interviewer asked the co-director Andrew Cole and actress Zoe Richards some questions. He says, "Andrew and Zoe, you two have worked together before, right?" Andrew says, "Ha. Yes, Zoe was Louise Paxton in the internet series. Finally, the secret is out. Zoe replies, "I still get hate mail," which Andrew says, "Really? Sorry about that." Initially, one of the ways we got interested in the torment was the project called In the Dark, which is the project I shot with Zoe as a real ... Zoe replies, "Well, not real. Some people thought it was real." Andrew says, "A hoax. It was a hoax. It's still there if you want to have a look at it." And that was the first time people had closure to the Louise Paxton case. Louise was a character played by Zoe Richards, who was an unknown horror film actress. The whole channel was a mini-series created by Andrew Cole in a Blair Witch style format. Their goal was to blur the lines between reality and film. They wanted to convince people it was real, and to their benefit, they did. Knowing that it's fake and looking back on the series makes you really appreciate the acting Zoe Richards managed to pull off. And even though it's not as scary now that the illusion was pulled away, it was really well done. But other than that, I had a great time looking into Louise Paxton, and I'll see you guys next time.